What is up, guys? The summer 2023 anime season is just a few weeks away. Crazy, I know. It is heating up with a slew of new anime titles to pick from. Over 40 animes fighting for your attention, and you ain't got time for all that. So you come to the right place. This is my top 10 list for the most exciting shows of the summer 2023 anime season. The cream of the crop based on my own non-spoiler research, which is extremely reliable, I assure you. As with all my lists, make sure to go down in the comments down below and let me know what you're most excited for the next season. You're even welcome to copy me. But let's get into it. This is my top 10 most exciting new shows of the summer 2023 anime season in no particular order. I'll also get into some honorable mentions as well as the returning shows. Let's jump into it. Kicking things off, let's jump into Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. Now this is a show that honestly, you check out the PV and it's really hard not to be excited for the show. Coming from a new studio, Bug Films, I'm not even really sure where they came from. They've been doing some in-betweens and stuff for other studios, but man, if this is their first production and this is how they're gonna come out swinging, please, let this be a thing. Now, the concern is obviously being that since it is a new studio, is the PV all flash and then the actual show is not gonna look as good? We'll have to wait and see. But honestly, with the lack of a sequel for High School of the Dead, rest in peace, this is our next best thing. Following a guy that has been working a dead-end job, not getting paid well, having a crappy apartment, and then at some point, the apocalypse happens. So he sets on a mission to do his list of 100 things before he dies. And it looks like a lot of fun. And like I said, the PV itself looks absolutely incredible. And it's really a shock that we don't have more zombie shows because anime is ripe for zombies. Well, the director has only really done Komi-san, which is okay. Well, we have the series competition writer behind Vinland Saga, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Attack on Titan, which is pretty great. And additionally, this is from the creator behind Alice in Borderland, which I've heard a lot of good things about. Haven't checked out personally, but there's a lot of good things going around this show, and I cannot wait for it. For our next one we have is My Happy Marriage. I am extremely excited for this one, mainly because I get a lot of vibes of Taisho Tomi Fairy Tale, which is a series that I absolutely loved. It's essentially this idea of this woman being married off to somebody, that person being a little off-putting, but slowly over time kind of learning the brighter sides of another person. That first impression being pretty dire, but over time realizing the love that you can have between each other. It looks very beautiful, being done by Kim Citrus, and honestly, after such a fantastic season in spring of romance shows, it's good to see that there's still some romance going to be beyond this season. For my next one I have is The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. This show looks so fantastic. Now, I do have one big massive reservation, and that's the fact that Gohans is working on it. And Gohans be Gohans, and does really dumb stuff with some CGI and everything, but at its core, the show itself looks fantastic. I think this girl in the show looks absolutely adorable. I love the shenanigans going on in the PV for it already. It's just got great character designs. It's got some great visuals to it, despite the CGI. And the chief director technically did work on K-Series and Marduk Scramble, even though the other director worked on all the bad stuff for Gohan. So my hope is that at least the good director will keep things steered well, despite what we're seeing in the PV. But essentially follows a guy who likes this one girl in his class, and she's very forgetful, keeps forgetting her glasses. And so she's always squinting, and he's always having to help her out with stuff. And it does seem like there's already indications that who's going to forget their glasses that many times? Either she's extremely forgetful, or maybe she does like relying on him. But the PV kind of gives you a sense that there's love blossoming in the air around them, and so maybe that'll kind of rub off onto them. Either way, like I said, she looks absolutely cute. Cannot wait for it. The next one I have is probably going to make some people groan, and that is the most heretical last boss queen from villainous to savior. This is, yes, another villainous isekai type of show, but the initial draw that I had was the character designs themselves. I got vibes of mine from Ascendance of Bookworm, but as I slowly looked more into it and the PV itself, I'm getting a lot of hope for the show. Now, honestly, I haven't really had too many cases where I've run into a villainous isekai that I didn't enjoy. And so I do think it's a genre or subgenre of the isekai that's doing really well to keep things fresh. Now, the interesting thing is the PV gives me a lot of dark vibes. I'm not sure if that's because that is the story it's telling that is the villainous route that she's avoiding. Because yes, what the idea here is that at some point, she realized that she got isekai'd into this villainous role. And this villainous role becomes a nasty person that is very powerful and does horrible things. So when she realizes this, she kind of pivots and she puts her focus in actually helping and saving the main love interest of the actual story. So depending on if it does actually get dark with it or not is the big question mark, but overall, love the designs and the concept of it and everything, so I'll be looking forward to this one. Plus, additionally, Hitomi Ueno is going to be working on the series composition, and she's a genius, so I know that at least the writing's going to be good. Next one I have is Undead Murder Farce. Now, yeah, this is probably the shocker one of the season. If you're checking out all the previews and you see this one, it's like, what? This dude just pulls his head up and kisses it. It's like, what is on this screen right now? It's essentially 19th century, and you have like the inhabitants of vampires and golems and werewolves and whatnot. And in order to sort of combat this whole thing, you have this person that utilizes a supernatural element himself. This immortal beauty that is, unfortunately, lost her body, and he's trying to look for it. So it looks like it's going to have a lot of mystery and everything kind of mixed in with it. Plus you have like a really great team that's working behind it, like the director behind Kaguya-sama Love is War, Shogun Roku Raku Shinju, series composition by the person that worked on Inspector, Golden Kamuy, Kingdom, and Legends of Galactic Heroes. So really great team working on this show. So far, the PV itself looks really awesome, so definitely a unique show to kind of give to the list of anime this season coming up. Next one I have, this is one that I've been kind of keeping an eye on for quite a while now, and that is the gene of AI. It sort of gets into the idea of having humanoid technologies in this world, and having a doctor that actually works to treat them. So I'm guessing a doctor for AIs and computers. Everything around it seems to be pretty interesting and unique, and it's something I'm definitely looking forward to. And of course, having Madhouse working on it is a massive plus for it. Though the PV itself, I won't say is kind of blowing me away quite yet. I'm getting a lot of vibes of Plastic Memories, which honestly for me was very hit and miss for each of its stories, but again, if they can do something similar to that, really get into the idea of taking care of these cyborgs and whatnot, I'll be definitely interested in it. Now, just to put some shade to all the haters, yes, I am excited for Story of a Small Senior in My Company or My Tiny Senpai. Jokes aside, the PV for this one just has me really excited for it. Just a really nice, yes, very rare, sadly, romance in a workplace. Adults, for once. But yeah, basically follows this guy who starts to work in this new department, and his senpai, his senior, is this very short-statured girl that's, yes, well endowed. A short stack. But she is super cute. It sort of implies by the synopsis that this girl works really, really hard to take care of all the people that's underneath her. It's something that she doesn't do out of duty, but something that she does out of the joy of it itself. And I'm getting that indication from the PV, which honestly, the PV that they released here recently just looks like it's the entire show. So I'm assuming this whole show is animated already, but she's super cute. I really love it. It looks like a lot of fun, a lot of goofy moments. The characters wearing cute outfits like Catgirl and pajamas and everything. I'm super thrilled for it. It looks super cute. Cannot wait for it. The next one I have is probably the most interesting one of this entire list. The show that you kind of have to dig deep in there to try to find out what's going on in this that actually could be really good. That is Synduality Noir. This one's being done by 8-Bit. And the interesting thing is, this is from the creator Hajime Kamoshida, who is the creator of Bunny Girl Senpai, Just Because, and Sakura-sao. So if you're a big fan of probably the most popular one there, which is Bunny Girl Senpai, this is probably something you should keep an eye on. Now, I say that, but the oddity here is that this is like a mecha show. This isn't Bunny Girl Senpai. This isn't a drama or whatnot. And that's the thing that I'm sort of curious about, because everything that I've known to love about this writer is romance. It's comedy romance, not mecha, not sci-fi. And that's what this is going for. It's basically about this future where this rain appears that kills almost all of mankind. It creates monsters that devour humans, and mankind kind of builds underground to create this sort of haven. Eventually, at some point, they run into an AI. They're not really sure how they're going to coexist, but it seems to have a lot of focus in the synopsis in them sort of trying to find their truths between them. Again, very sci-fi, very mecha, a huge stray from this writer, which I do encourage. I do like whenever writers do kind of branch out from what they're known for, but still, it does give me a little pause there. And yes, technically the CGI in the trailer wasn't that great, but we'll see. Moving on is a second chance. The second chance for this show to come out. Yes, I'm still excited for Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. Now, I do have a little bit of pause here, but at the same time, gosh darn, if this show doesn't look really, really cute based on the PV and the character designs and everything. Yes, sadly, it was supposed to come out in spring, but it got delayed. Hopefully it comes out this time. Aniplex, can you please release the show? This is being done by Dogokobo, which, yes, has had a very rocky road here recently, but it seems like with Oshinoko, they're stepping it back up. Sumie Noro is working on it. They worked on Sleepy Princess, which is, I love that show. And the series composition being done by the person that worked on Slow Loop and Nanambiori. So, really great team behind this, and everything points to good. The only real kind of pause that I have for this show is really the fact that it looks kind of Umaro-chan-ish, where you have the lazy girl. It might be very, very skip-based, but again, she looks cute, so hopefully that won't bug me too much. Yeah, it's sort of giving this idea of the Saint Cecilia that, yes, gives this appearance that she's this great and beautiful girl, but when everybody's away, Pastor Lawrence sees the true side of her. We'll see how that one turns out, or if it even releases. Again, Aniplex, come on, please. And the final one that I have in my top 10 most exciting new shows is Reign of the Seven Spellblades. It's about this guy joining this magic academy, and it seems like his focus is to find this katana-wielding girl if he's to survive in this place. Which is, yes, very, very vague, and I think that's fine. It's kind of a show that I'm sort of hoping to go into it pretty blind. There's a couple people in our Discord that is extremely excited for the show, so I'm definitely going to be checking it out. It's being done by JC Staff. This series competition being done by the person that worked on Otaku, Elf, Executioner and a Way of Life, Planetarian, and Food Wars, so really good series competition writer. And yes, the original creator, which I think is the more interesting thing that I found here, is the person that created Ottoman in the Sky, which is honestly a series that I really did like the world building. Now, I only watched the anime adaptation, and I felt like the anime adaptation didn't really go very far, but the thing that I loved about it was that it was so good at world building. So that does give me a lot of hope for the series. Just hope that they adapt enough that we get to a really good storyline. But yeah, it does seem like there is a resurgence of magical school type of anime, and hopefully this is one that can show that, hey, they can be good. I will admit that the PV didn't really sell me too much on it, especially with a lot of use of CGI for monsters, but I've heard there's some really good twists in there, and that could probably be why the synopsis is so vague. Then that's it. My honorable mentions, I have Reborn as a vending machine. I didn't put that in my list because honestly, this show can either it can tank really easily. It just depends on how well it is interesting. It looks dorky and it looks bizarre, but at the same time, that doesn't make a good entertaining show. So we'll have to see how it kind of plays this out. With something like Reincarnated as a Sword, that one worked because we had a Dadaru in that one. This one just has, unfortunately, her art style has changed quite a bit, a really hot girl. Yes, I'm still looking forward to Fate Strange Fake, if, again, that one comes out. But again, that's only like a single episode, but either way, I'm super excited for it, and I hope it gets a full series. Helk, I'm kind of very wishy-washy on. It kind of gives me an idea of like a Conan the Barbarian going to become the Demon Lord or something like that. It looks interesting, but at the same time, it's really, I just don't see anything in the PV that's really grabbing me. Oku, the Inner Chambers. This one looks like it can be absolutely amazing. And again, it could also be extremely boring. I don't know, it's going for like some alternative history where the men of the world get sick and so the women take over. So think world in harem, but back in the history of Japan. Again, it could be really good or extremely boring, and I'm definitely going to be checking it out. Dark Gathering, I don't know. Like, I watched the PV and I'm like, this looks really creepy and unsettling and super dark, but I don't know if it fits the art style, but it's got me intrigued, but I have a lot of pause for it. The Dreaming Boy is a realist, looks like it could be good. It could be extremely annoying at the same time. It seems like the whole basis of the story starting out is based on miscommunication. And I don't know if that's going to make for a good show, because typically miscommunications is annoying, and to make your base story about miscommunication kind of sucks. It's like this guy that keeps pursuing this girl, and then eventually he gives up. And then the girl, like, is upset about that and wants him or something. I don't know. The Masterful Cat is depressed again today. Looks so cute, but again, a Gohan's one, so hopefully they can chill out. But it looks dorky. Just a big, huge cat taking care of a lady. And the last one I'll mention for my honorable mentions, because there's too many of them, is Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero. It looks dorky. It's got Uzaki-chan's voicing the little demon girl. Could be fun. It could be a flop. It's always based on comedy if it works for me or not. And of course, I'm still excited for Rurouni Kenshin coming back. Yes, for a new adaptation, a readaptation of it. I'm hoping they do a really good job of it. Otherwise, there's no point in bringing it back. But looking forward to that. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, of course. Andrew's extremely excited for this. Of course, I have read on in the light novel, but I'll still be watching it, and I'll still be doing my impressions on it. I will do my best to avoid spoiling it for anybody that watches my impression videos on it. I might actually just switch to doing what the anime missed and just kind of cover that stuff, or at least put emphasis on what might have been sort of breezed over. So if you're interested in that kind of information, definitely stay tuned here. Yes, I'm looking forward to Bleach. I have my misgivings of how they left things off with the last core, but I'm still super excited for it. It's easily my favorite shonen of all time, so looking forward to it. Horimiya, honestly, I'm a little miffed at this whole trend of adapting what wasn't adapted, and I'm not sure how it's going to work for Horimiya itself, but it's working for Ranking of Kings, even though it's frustrating me more than anything going, why wasn't this adapted? But honestly, looking at the PV, I'm like, gosh, I just want to rewatch the whole show. It's just so good. Bungo Stray Dogs Season 5. Yes, I want to watch it. It's amazing. The last season was super good. I cannot wait to see where this goes. It's easily one of my favorite shows with an amazing, huge cast of characters, supernatural battling and all that kind of stuff. It's just too good. I highly recommend checking out the series if you've not yet. It is so good. And then finally, the last one I'll mention is The Duke of Death and His Maid Season 2. I love the first season. I cannot wait for the second season. It's so good. Super cute. This idea of this maid taking care of this guy, and there's obviously love blossoming, but unfortunately anything he touches he kills, and so it's a little bit about trying to figure out how to solve that problem, and so they can finally be together, and the romance is there, they're admitting it, and I want to see where it goes. And that's it. That is my most anticipated shows for the summer 2023 anime season. I hope you guys will join me for that. If you're new to this channel, make sure that subscribe button. I'll be doing first impressions of all the shows of the season itself, as well as doing reviews, news topics, and all this other stuff that I do on the channel itself, so I definitely welcome you guys to subscribe. Additionally, on our podcast, the Otaku Spirit Anime Cast, we will be doing a full run-through of all of the shows of the summer 2023 anime seasons, so if you're looking for a deep dive of all the shows, definitely stay tuned for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, again, tell me what you're most excited for the season coming up. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support it more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and membership button down below. I greatly appreciate it, but the sports channel, you mean so much to me, and y'all take care.